probably the last time that we're going to get to do this in front of the Christmas tree. Yes, I've not put my Christmas tree away yet. Yes, I need to put it away, but it is what it is. Okay, let's get into it. Let's talk about it a little bit, and let's just dive into Soulstone Healing Center. So if you follow me on social media, then you know that I've officially announced Soulstone Healing Center. Let's go into it. Let's go into why the Savvy Wolf Holistic Healing is closing, and we're opening up Soulstone Healing Center in its place. So I'm going to throw this out there. For one, we're going to go down a little bit of an ancestral healing journey, mind you, for just like a little bit of a second, okay? Just like a little bit of a second. Let's go down a journey, and then let's talk about it. So growing up, I used to always listen to how I was the reason why my mom didn't do something. I was the reason she didn't open up a business. I was the reason she didn't go to school. I was the reason for that. And don't get me wrong. Okay, before we get into this, I had everything that I could possibly need and or want. I had all the dance lessons I possibly wanted to go to. I was always signed up for the dance competitions. I got to go dance in Florida. I got to go to Mexico. I got to go to California. I lived a pretty good life. I was pretty privileged, okay? I had everything. I had clothes. I had even like some designers like Columbia and that kind of stuff. Like I had that stuff. I had the very first computer, the Dell computer that came out. Like, I had a computer in my bedroom. My bedroom was whatever I designed it, whatever I wanted it to be. It was lime green with purple sparkles. So I had what I needed, okay? But there were still bits and pieces like that. I am absolutely happy and grateful for the fact that I had all the things that I needed growing up. But I was also the reason why my mom didn't do things. I'm sure by now you guys know that there's a strained relationship with my mom for many, many different reasons. We have gone no contact. Now, yes, I have tried to go back and do the contact and open it back up and do the healing and that kind of stuff, but my mom chooses not to, and that's okay. That's on her. That is her choice. My choice is to heal and to move on, right? Okay. So, now that we've established that, let me just throw this out there. Growing up, I had to listen to how my mom was all signed up for classes. She was all ready to go. She was going to go back to school. She was going to finish her college degree, blah, 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 blah. And then she found out she was pregnant with me. Now, I know without a doubt in my mind that my grandma Wolf would have gladly watched me so my mom could go to school. All my mom had to do was say, hey, I want to make a better life for my daughter. I don't want my husband to be on the road as much because my husband is a trucker. I'd like to figure out a way to get him off the road, so he doesn't have to solely support the family. I want to help out. So that, even if he continues to be a truck driver, maybe he doesn't have to do it all the time. Like, she could have just said something along those lines, and my grandma Wolf would have been like, yes, I'll help you. I know that because my grandma's biggest pride and joy were her grandkids. Is her grandkids. I don't know why I say were. Is her grandkids. I see it every single day with my cousins. I see it when she gets to, talk to Everly, when we do video chats. I know it when we call and I can hear it in her voice. We are her pride and joy. We were her everything. My grandma loves being a grandma. So with that set aside, right? We went into a little bit of a tangent, but let's come back for a second. With that set aside, I always remember hearing this. And then I watched my mom as she listened to, like, somebody opened up a restaurant that she wanted to open. It's like a soup, salad, and sandwich kind of restaurant. I don't know. But anyways, and I watched her as her face faded, and she was like all sorts of upset because somebody else opened up her dream. Somebody else was living her dream. And I chose in that moment, in that time, that I was not going to do that. I was like, I'm not going to stand by and watch somebody else living my dream and get upset about it. I'm not, because that's just not who I am. And if you've been here with me from the very beginning, you know that that's true. I left Casper, Wyoming to move to South Carolina to open up a business to help people heal, to step on the medicine wheel, to become a shaman, a Reiki practitioner, a healer. I am a spiritual coach. All of those things combined, I also went to school for counseling. Oh, wait, what does she do? She's going to school for counseling? What? Yes. Yes. This is why when you come to talk to me for readings and healing sessions, I'm able to have that conversation with you, that back and forth. It comes from the psychology background, okay? That is something that's going to come out also with Soulstone Healing Center. But anyways, we digress. We go forward, right? So anywho, I remember holding my daughter for the very first time. And I remember thinking, you are my reason why. I can't give up now. I have to keep going. I have to keep going. You are the reason that I'm going to keep going. You are the reason that I'm going to open up that healing center. So clear back in Casper, Wyoming, I wanted to open up a healing center. I wanted to open up my own space. I remember watching like The Good Witch, if you've ever watched her. She has a shop, I always wanted to be like her. I was like, oh, she's so cool. She's just like so cool, right? Well, I wanted a shop like hers also. And so when I went to South Carolina, I became a part of the Rustic Raven with Mary. And I kind of had that, but it was a safety net. The Rustic Raven was a safety net for me because I didn't have to pay for the overhead cost of things. All I had to do was worry about my room rent, which either you paid in full or you do a trade. And then eventually we stopped doing the whole trade thing and it was paying for the room, which, needed to happen. It needed to happen, okay? So I was there from the very beginning of the Raven opening, and I was there watching it open. I helped it open. I helped with the shop in exchange for my room rent, but again, it was a safety net for me. I could see my clients there. I could meet with my clients there. I even had a shelf there. I literally, like, everything that I wanted was in a small part in the Raven. But I wanted something more. I wanted so much more than that. I wanted a space that was mine. And there were things that, Mary and I kind of butted heads on, which is just normal. We're human, right? We're both different. Sometimes she's the dark and I'm the light, and sometimes she's the light and I'm the dark. Like, we were like the yin and the yang, right? So we're human, okay? We're not going to agree on everything. And there were some things that I was like, oh, I don't like that. And then there's probably things that she would go, oh, I don't like that she does that, right? Okay. Anyways, so I appreciated the Raven, and I love the Raven for everything that it is and everything that it did for that community. Did I want to go and try to buy the Raven? I did. I talked to Mary about it. I talked to her about buying the Raven. I talked to her about becoming a partner. I talked to her about just buying the store. I've talked to her, even now I've talked to her about just buying the inventory when I find the space for Soulstone Healing Center. But the Raven was never my dream. It never was. And so while, yes, I talked to her about buying the Raven, it never happened because the Raven wasn't my dream. So then I thought, okay, well, I have the Savvy Wolf Holistic Healing, so why don't we make that into a healing center? Why don't we create that? So the Savvy Wolf Holistic Healing Center did not become a thing. For one, that's really long, right, to say. That's a lot to say. But anyways, for two, it just wasn't working out. Like, I tried and I created like the logo for it, and I thought about the space, but there was just like a bunch of friction. And then like I have a spiritual guide that I do speak to on occasion, and even he was like, that just doesn't, like, the Savvy Wolf, that's going to confuse people. You want people to know what you're doing, right? You want them to know. So mainly it's also about marketing. A lot of it is about marketing. The Savvy Wolf was me. It was me. The Savvy Wolf was me and me alone. It was who I am. It was all about me. What I want is a healing center where healers can come in also, where they can grow their business. Yes, in a roundabout way, it kind of does look like the Raven, but in another roundabout way, it also doesn't look like the Raven. Because I do want a therapist in there and like an acupuncture and stuff like that, hopefully. And I am talking to a therapist, side note, to be a part of it. But anyways, the it wasn't tying. And even when I talked to Mary about it, I was like, hey, like, I want to open up a healing center. Like, this is just what I want to do. And she was like, I'm not really surprised because you wanted to buy the Raven, but I get it. It's not working out for you because the Raven's not yours. I don't know who the Raven's gonna go to, but I hope that it does go to somebody who like absolutely fits into everything that is the Rustic Raven. Because it was an amazing space. It really and truly was. So, as I'm sitting here and I'm working on things and I'm thinking about my dreams and my goals and I'm about to give up, I had a little bit of a memory of my mom giving up. And don't get me wrong, I will always make sure my daughter's provided for. She is the number one, okay? Number one is my daughter, right? I am her provider. I always make sure my daughter is taken care of. That is the number one thing that I will always do. So I took a teaching job. I took a kindergarten teaching job because I needed to make sure my daughter was provided for. And I kind of gave up on my dream. And as I'm sitting there one night and I'm crying myself to sleep and I'm going, because first of all, teachers don't get paid crap. No. Like, if I was relying slowly on that income, I would not be able to cover all of our bills, okay? I'm just saying. But I've signed this contract, so I also have to see this contract all the way through, right? But I'm sitting here and I'm crying and I'm remembering this moment where I saw my mom as she watched her dreams become a reality through somebody else. And I thought, oh, I'm doing that. I'm watching my dreams become a reality through other people, through people on Instagram who have shops, through people who are having their own healing, who are hosting, even through the Raven, like even watching like Mary through the Raven. I watched her as she did like workshops and that kind of stuff. I love to do workshops. We're bringing workshops back, by the way. But, all the things that I wanted to create from these multiple different places. And I was watching it with a little bit of envy in me and I'm going, I see what you did right there, Spirit. I see what you did right there. So it's no surprise to anybody that we've had a rough couple of years, right? I feel like 2022, we were like, or no, 2020, we were just kind of like living life. Like, here's COVID. We don't know what's going on. We're just living. We're exploring. We don't have to go to work. We don't have to put pants on. We're getting paid not to go to work. We're getting paid to stay home, right? Just stay home. We can't leave. We got masks on. We're literally hiding behind masks. Like, this is just what, like, reality. We don't even know what's going on. Then 2021 came around and we were still kind of like floating around, not even sure what was going to happen. What was going on with life? What are we doing? Like, do we wear masks anymore? Are we really like, is it COVID or just got the allergies? Like, we're kind of just, And then 2022 came around and that's when things like started to break, right? Because we realized, oh, maybe we should have been doing this or paying attention to this because now this is happening. And so for a lot of us, we were starting to break. And for those of us like me, whose foundations were not stable to begin with, we were having our tower moment in tarot, where the foundation literally crumbles because it's not stable to begin with. It's not a stable thing. So I got pregnant in 2022. I left South Carolina. I sold my house. I moved to Arizona. I live in a camper. All these things, I know that you guys have heard this story, so we're not going to go into it. If you haven't heard the story, I know I've done YouTube videos on it before, so go back and look at or podcast, listen to it. But all of these things combined started to crumble down that foundation that wasn't stable to begin with, because it was so easy for me to walk away from my dream that I created at the Raven. It was so easy for me to walk away from my house that I built. I put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into that home, okay? It was so easy for me to listen to somebody else and not myself. So that had to break down. And then 2023 happened. And that's when shadows started to come out. That's truly when, and I see this with a lot of people too, that's when shadows started to be seen. We started to see the reality of people. We started to see truth. Masks were being torn off. We started to see things for what they really are. You know, I think, is that when they announced aliens? No, it was 2024. I don't remember. The government was like, aliens exist. We were all like, oh, okay, cool. But 2023 definitely tore off those masks. It put us into some shadow work. It made us do the thing, the shadow work, you know, really start to look at ourselves, really do some inner mirror work, that kind of stuff. And then 2024 came about. She was a hard year for many people, and me included. Oh my gosh, did 2024 wreck our world. 2024 was a karmic year. And that doesn't mean karma from this lifetime. That means karma from past lives. So if you were like me and you were going through it and you're like, oh, I wanted to give up so stinking much, and you just felt like you kept hitting your butt, like you just kept falling down, that's because we had to go through that karma. Now, here's what I was told by my spiritual guider also. Aren't you glad it happened now? Aren't you glad it happened when you were young and not when you were old? Because right now you have resilience. Right now you can get back up. You still have the rest of your life to live. You can still go grab the bull by the horns. My daughter's 2 years old, which means I have plenty of time, right? If she turns 18 and I have not achieved what I hope to achieve and I'm still like walking around like, ooh, then you know, somebody smacked me in the head, okay? But that's not what's going to happen, right? So 2024 was that karmic year. It was a karmic year where we just had to officially get the crapola out. We chose this from a past life, from this life, whatever. And it might have been in like my case, it was in both places. I had karma that was coming from a part of my past where I think we all know I did not have a very good past, right? I did do some things. And then a past life also where I did some things negatively, and it had to come to this lifetime and it had to officially carve itself out. Now, for those of you guys that went through it and you're like, okay, I did it. I did the healing sessions. I walked the path. Like, I really and truly focused on it. You might have noticed that in the last couple months, you started to feel something lifting off of your shoulders. You might still have the anxiety. You might still have the moments where you're like, what the heck happened? That sucked. Or you might have even started to put pen to paper like I did with Soulstone Healing Center, and you're starting to create something. For a lot of you guys, it might even be that you're starting to realize like, oh, this is my dream. This is my dream. And I want to go after my dream. And I want to achieve my dream. And I want to be that person that achieves my dream. I don't want to live like this anymore. I don't want to live in this place. You know? I get it, right? Like, I 100% I get it. For one, I really want to get us out of this campground. So, like, that's, like, my number one goal this year. Actually, my number one goal this year is finding a space for Soulstone Healing Center. But I know that the two tie into each other, so I'm okay with that. Anyways, with that said, 2025 is the year for growth. It is a growth year. 2024 was that karmic year. It really and truly was. But all those things that happened, all those tears that were shed, were watering the seeds for 2025, for growth. So if you're wanting to start that business, if you're wanting to do that thing, then go do it. Go do it. Don't ever let anything or anybody be your excuse. And I will be the very first person to tell you that if you use somebody as an excuse, stop. Right now. Stop. Nobody can keep you from your dreams. Nobody can take you down the wrong path. There are people put in your pathway to deter you, to push you in a different direction. In my case, there were people put in my pathway that I listened to because I had to learn and I had to go through that karmic cycle and I had to go through all of that because I wanted something that was bigger. I had this dream that was this freaking big, but I was living this life that was this big, right? So those people were put in my pathway so that I had to see if it was still recording because I accidentally hit the button. I still can't get my camera to work, whatever. Anyways, those people were put in my path so that I could achieve something that I've always wanted to achieve because I always had a dream that was bigger. than even myself. I had a dream that was so stinking big. Back in Casper, Wyoming, I wrote that dream down. I wrote down brick and mortar. I wrote down a place where I could host healers, and I could see clients, and I would have workshops, and I could teach people how to tap into their intuition and their own gifts, and I would have my own store, and even maybe host a retreat. Retreat was like down at the bottom. It's something that has been there since I lived in Casper, Wyoming, which was clear back in 2015. Okay? But when I wrote that down, I didn't realize that I was putting into motion things to change. Now, could I have done that in Florence, South Carolina? Probably. I would have probably bought the Raven. But would I have been happy? Probably not. Would I have realized that this wasn't my dream? Probably. I probably would have bought the Raven and been like, I don't want to call it the Raven. I want to change it. And then I would have to go through all of that on top of it. And, you know, when I could just have something that starts out as my own. But again, that's loud. Again, I had to take away the safety net. The safety net had to be taken away. And it's created a lot of anxiety. I'm not going to lie. Since I have announced Soulstone Healing Center, I have had anxiety like nobody's business. And it's because it's all on me now. I can't fall back on anybody. I don't have a safety net anymore. It's gone. It's gone. You know? So here we are. So let's get into Soulstone Healing Center. Now that we've gone through that little bit of the story, and I'm sitting here telling you, get off your freaking butt and go get your dreams. It's the beginning of 2025. Or if you're watching this later in the year, like, go do it. Or if you're watching this, I actually have people that watch this, like, they stumble across it, and it's, like, a couple of years later. That's when you're supposed to see this video, so go do it. Go do it, okay? With that said, let's talk about Soulstone Healing Center. So Soulstone Healing Center is exactly what it sounds like. It is a healing space. It is a community. The hope and the goal for Soulstone is that we create a community of spiritual healers, of guidance, of teaching, of workshops, of the store, of therapy, acupuncture, whatever comes in eventually for the other healers. Right now, it's just me. I am talking to another person about maybe coming onto the website. Everything's going to be online for right now until I find a space. I am talking to a therapist also that wants to come on. To have a therapist, like, that's a whole nother ballgame. To have a therapist to be a part of, like, your healing center, like, that's a whole nother thing, because that's a different license that you have to have and all that jazz. But this person holds that license, so yeah. But I'm also talking to somebody who's going for their master's and wants to do this also. So, you know, you never know. You never know. We'll see what happens with that. That's a whole nother part that will come to that road when it comes to it. But Soulstone, essentially, I will be hosting more workshops. I miss doing workshops. I am opening up space for students for the medicine wheel. I am opening up more space for students for the Unlock Your Intuition Within course. I want it to be a place where people find transformation, where they find healing, where they find what they're looking for, their soul purpose, they can find their courage, their confidence, they can learn to trust their intuition, they can really and truly tap into their own gifts. They can become who they were meant to be. They can step into their purpose, they can step into joy, happiness, just everything. And I know now that's why I had to go through everything that I went through, so I could help others go through that also, right? So I can hold that space so you can go through that, so that you are not alone. I don't want anybody to be alone. Healing is hard, and you shouldn't have to go through it alone. But the same goes, you know, with the Unlock Your Intuition Within course. I don't want anybody to have to rely on somebody else's intuition. You shouldn't even have to rely on my intuition. You should be able to rely on your own intuition. Which is why if you've come to me recently for a reading, you know that I ask you the questions. I ask you, does this resonate with you? Or I give you choices, or I help you find the answer, but I never tell you. I never say this is what you're supposed to do. I help you get there because I am a guider, right? I'm not supposed to say, come on, let's go. No, I'm supposed to help guide you. All right? Soulstone Healing Center will officially be launched January 4th. So I don't know if this video, this YouTube is weird. It's sometimes like it works and you get the video goes up and it's easy, and then sometimes it takes a while. Okay? So Soulstone Healing Center is going to officially be launched on January 4th. Today I have been working really hard on the website. I'm doing a different type of website, so I'm not really sure what's going on because I want everything to be underneath one. So I want the store and the healing services, and for you to be able to find the healers, and the courses, like the courses and that kind of stuff, and whatever, the workshops and that jazz. I want you to be able to go to one place, one website, and find it all there. I also was trying to get it up on Etsy, and Etsy keeps flagging all the services, so I don't know how that's gonna work right now. All I can see is maybe putting the store on Etsy for now, and then maybe hopefully figuring out how to put the healing services on Etsy, because Etsy is being kind of, I keep getting flagged every time. I put illuminating within and it got flagged. I put soul calling and it got flagged. I put destiny retrieval and it got flagged. So I was like, all right, we're gonna come back to that. Etsy's kind of weird. Like, it either works for you or it doesn't work for you. So those of you guys that are asking to Everly Page Designs, that's going to still be there. That's going to be a part of the store. So that's still going to be there. And when I have my own space, when there's a brick and mortar, she's going to have her very own shelf. That's still going to be there. She's going to be one of my consignments now, right? Like, she's still going to be there. Like, that is her stuff. That is hers. Everything that comes from Everly Page Designs goes right back into a bank account for her. So it's hers, 100%. I don't know what that was, but anyways. So with that said, so that is Soulstone Healing Center. I'm super excited. This is the year for change. This is the year for big things, for growth. Am I scared? Oh, heck yeah. Because now it's all on me. Where Mary had to cover all the expenses of the Raven and the overhead cost and all that jazz, now I get to do that. And that's something that I know I had to work through because I wasn't always good with, like, money. I really and truly wasn't. And the thought of having to hire people and all that jazz scared the living crap out of me. So I had to go through all of that so that I could get to a place where I was better with money, where I could save money, where I could put it where it needs to go, that kind of stuff. So with that said, let's pull some cards for 2025. So if you follow me at all, you know that I do the 2025 year ahead readings. It's with these cards right here. If you're listening on the podcast, I will tell you guys what cards I'm pulling out. I still have openings for that, so please feel free to go sign up for it. They're absolutely amazing. They're wonderful readings. They're like little guidance through the year. They're like little pick-me-ups. You know that? What? I don't even know. Let's see what mine is this month. So mine this month is listening. I like that. Listening. That's actually pretty good. So let's see what we can get. What do we have in store for 2025? What is it gonna look like? I think I'm gonna do a full video where I go month to month, but this one we're just gonna do like a little quick reading. Okay, so first up, we have celebration. There's gonna be so much cause for celebration. Okay, so sorry if you're listening on the podcast. If you got your headphones in, you should know by now to take your headphones out when it comes to me, okay? the squealing happens sometimes, but there's going to be so much cause for celebration in so many different ways, because we have literally, like I said, we've put in the freaking work, and some of us are tired, and some of us are kind of going, when is it my break? When is it my turn? Like, I'm done with this. So you put that work in, you put in the growth, you put in all the healing, all the stuff. You went through the karmic cycles. So there's going to be a huge cause for celebration, and that's really an amazing thing, because we as a collective, we need to celebrate. We need to celebrate. We need to find the time to celebrate, to be grateful about all the things, about all the small moments. So really get excited for some celebration. Just, you know what? We're going to pull this card anyways. It's a time for playfulness. Like, have fun. What are some things that you like to do? Have fun with life. Why are you taking life so seriously? Why are you taking it so seriously? Like, stop being so serious, okay? Yes, there's a time and a place to be serious, but you know what? For the most part, have fun. Turn the music on, dance it out, you know, get boogie with it. Get down with it. I don't know. What are the kids saying nowadays? No, seriously. But have fun. Don't be so serious. Don't be such a Debbie Downer. That's what I'm hearing. Debbie Downer. Stop. There's friendships. There's friendships. Oh, I love this. I love this. So for a lot of you guys that are still watching this friendship is not just like a small friendship. This is like a soulmate friendship. This is something that you've been asking for a very long time, where you're like, I want true friends that I can count on 100%, that I know are always going to be there for me, that I can really and truly expect to be in my life. These friends are very important, okay? These are very important friendships. This is a lifetime friendship. This is not something that's going to come and go. It's not something that you're just going to one day be like, oh, okay, well, they were my friends and now they're not. They were there for the lessons and now they're gone. No, these friends are going to stay in your life for a very long time, like till the very end, okay? And they're super helpful. They're your soul tribe, okay? They are your soul tribe. Blessings. We have so many blessings coming this year, all through the year. And I know a lot of you guys are like, I don't know what's happening. For one, because we have a new president coming in, right? So you're like, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. Like, what's going to happen? Are the prices going to go down? Are we going to stay where we're at? Or are the prices going to stay bougie and we just become financially bougie? You know what I'm saying? What's going to happen, right? Don't worry about that. Blessings are everywhere, and count your blessings every single day. Take a moment to count your blessings. You have so many things to be grateful for, so why not be grateful for them? Why not just count those blessings right here, right now? Pause this video and count 3 blessings. Do it. I'll wait. Music. Okay, let's talk about the power of music. Music holds so much. It has strong frequencies that can help you with manifesting, healing, creating things in your life, bringing things, destroying things, bringing your mood down, creating depression. Think about it. Music has been around since the beginning of time, pretty much. Like, we could go clear back to when music first started, but you know what? I'm not a history teacher, so we're not going to do that. But music has been around for a very long time. And if you think about it, music was always there. And people, like Egyptians, used it for healing. I'm pretty sure the Mayans probably did. Many different shamanic tribes, native tribes, shamans, and native tribes used it for healing. So music has been around for a very, very long time. So now might be the perfect time to start tapping in to the power of music, the frequency of music. There's a reason why music is very important in a lot of healers' lives. Like, I love music. I am a huge fan of freaking music. I love playing the guitar. I love listening to music every single day. I put it on. I listen to 432 hertz music when I'm getting ready in the morning. Like, all of these things. Music is super important. So start tapping into it and watch what you're listening to. You know, if you're listening to like some 5-Finger Death Punch kind of music, like, you're probably gonna have, like, you're gonna be in a bad mood, right? So and healing. For some of you guys, there's going to be some major freaking healing happening this year. Like, things are finally going to come to a close, and you're going to finally feel like that bubble has just burst, and it's amazing. That healing moment of just, I know I'm healed and I can do this now, is gonna come for a lot of you guys. And last but not least, I'm going to leave you with power. As a collective, we are pulling our power back this year. We are calling it back to ourselves. We have decided, a lot of people, I've seen it all over Facebook, where we're done giving our power to other people and letting other people take our powers. We're not subscribing to that anymore. We're done with that. Nope, no more. And by doing that, we are calling our power back to us, whether we know it or not. So we are finally stepping into our power, our truth, our purpose, who we're supposed to be. I love it. So I hope you guys have a wonderful 2025. Go chase your dreams. Don't make excuses anymore. Don't let other people be the reason why you don't do something. We're not subscribing to that. Go live your dreams. Okay? Go write your dreams down right now. It's still the 2nd of January. So if you're watching this anytime right now, like, you still have plenty of time with that black moon energy coming through. So, but if you're watching this later on in the year, still go write your goals down. Go look at them. Okay? And I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful 2025. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.